Gilbert, this is your last chance. If you want to tell your story, tell your story.
By the looks of my watch, it's officially grave time. This episode takes place at the Hicksville Cemetery, located in Galt, California, which is in San Joaquin County. I came out to this cemetery on Friday, July 29th, about an hour and a half before dusk, looking for the grave of a woman who I believed was on the Mayflower, and also exploring the cemetery. I had a paranormal encounter that I really can't explain, and these are the events that took place, with a follow-up with Paul Dale Roberts and the Halo Paranormal Investigation. We got some Evp'S, and it's just absolutely crazy. And so that's what this video is all about. This is the grave of Gilbert Wesley Braley, Jr. He worked for NASA and the Apollo. And this is definitely something you don't find every day in the Galt area, let alone any cemetery I've ever been to in Northern California, the grave of someone who worked for NASA. Before I get way too ahead of myself, the Hicksville Cemetery is all that is left of the town of Hicksville, which was established in the early 1840s by Billy Hicks, who got a land grant from John Sutter. Here at the cemetery, you'll find the graves of not just the locals, but some of the early settlers and members of the Miwok tribe. Now here's the grave that I was looking for. This is Ruth Elizabeth Partridge Schellenbarger. She was not on the Mayflower, because as you can see, she was born in October of 1903. But she was part of a fraternal organization known as the General Society of Mayflower Descendants. And to be a member of this society, you had to be a descendant of someone who was on the Mayflower. Okay, here's her husband's grave, John Alfred Schellenbarger. He was a member of the Sons of the American Revolution. In order to be a member of that fraternal order or that society, someone in your family had to have fought in the American Revolution. Moving forward into the middle of the cemetery, located where the trees are, is this grave of Gardner Randolph. He fought in the War of 1812 under Captain Jones. And I thought it was a very interesting grave to see someone buried here who fought in the War of 1812. While I was standing over his grave and filming, I could hear in my right ear two people talking. Now, let me make this clear. I'm the only person in the cemetery. I heard these two disembodied voices. Two men, to be exact. This conversation went on for about 10 minutes. It sounded like it was coming from the back part of the cemetery, near the barbed wire fence that leads to a field. Now, the closest house is roughly about a quarter mile away, and then just next to that is Highway 99. Honestly, the only thing I should be hearing, if I'm the only person in the cemetery, is Highway 99. Nothing else. I could not explain it. It didn't freak me out, because I think at this point I'm far from being normal if I'm doing these type of videos. From this point on, I reached out to Ryan Prevey, who I've gone on several of his paranormal investigations, and he also helps out with Paul Dale Roberts with the Halo Paranormal Investigations, and asked him if he had been to the Hicksville Cemetery and had ever heard any disembodied voices. He said yes, he had, and so then I reached out to Paul Dale Roberts and told him about what had happened. And he said, we'll have to come out there and investigate it together. The following weekend, I came out to the Hicksville Cemetery on Saturday, August 6th, this time armed with my SLS Ghost Tube application on my phone. And I caught this stick figure at the grave of William Bandin. Now, further research into him through newspapers.com, I found that it is believed by his children that he died under suspicious circumstances. And when their father had passed away, he left only $1 to the kids because they took the side of his ex-wife in the divorce. The money and the land that William owned, he left to his mistress. Now, the children paid for his grave, and there is artwork on the very top of an angel carrying a man through. While I was at the cemetery, I met a lady that was there cleaning the graves of her loved ones. She is part of the Miwok Indian tribe, and I had asked her about some of the spooky history of the cemetery. She was a little bit reluctant at first, but opened up and shared some of the stories that she had heard about the cemetery. I was told that the man that's buried in this location, his spirit isn't at rest, and what's interesting is I'm capturing a stick figure on his grave. Now, I'm not 100% sure if it is a ghost or a spirit, or if the app is trying to map something out in the fake flowers that are placed here at his grave. But keep in mind that something will happen here soon later on in the video. Next up is her daughter's grave. She had told me that many pictures have been taken here at her grave, and yet sometimes anomalies will show up, such as faces of individuals that were not present, as well as a misty image of a woman behind her daughter's tombstone. Here I've caught some kind of stick figure or something being matched or mapped out on her grave. Stick around to the end of the video for further evidence. This is the Davis plot, and buried here is David Lewis Davis Sr. He was the cousin of our 19th president, Rutherford Hayes. And here I caught a stick figure, and I have no idea who it could be or what it is. You decide. The day of the investigation was Saturday, September 10th. I met Paul Dale Roberts at the Hicksville Cemetery. There were 2 other people along with us. Their names escape me at the moment. There we did the best we could to investigate the cemetery. Now, Paul Dale Roberts got there an hour before I got there and wasn't getting any EVPs. And I just began telling him about some of the different graves that are here. And then we started going towards the back of the cemetery of the man who is believed to not be at rest. And that's where we caught an interesting EVP. Not just one, but 2. You decide what's going on. So Paul got a EVP and he's going to play it.
If there's someone here that wants to talk to me, talk to me. Please talk to me.
You got it?
Why don't you do it one more time?
Okay.
If there's someone here that wants to talk to me, talk to me. Please talk to me.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's shouting of some kind. It's
Like where you're buried at.
If you want to talk, this is your chance to tell your story. Do you like where you're buried at?
I'm starting to feel dizzy.
really.
Hello, can you please talk to me? If you're here and you want to say something, please talk to me now.
If you're here and you want to say something, please talk to me now.
What was that?
I don't know. I think I got something. Okay. That was weird.
If you're here and you want to say something, please talk to me now.
What the?
That's a growl.
Yeah. And I'm starting to feel dizzy.
Okay. Well, I still think it's kind of weird that there's feathers all over the place here.
Whoa, that's crazy.
So from here, I suggest to Paul that we go over to the Davis plot to see if we can get anything. Perhaps maybe even ask Mr. Davis what it was like to be the cousin of a U.S. president. We did get a response. I can't figure out what it says, but if you know, leave a comment down below.
172. I'm going to play it.
Hello, can you talk to me?
And I'll play it again.
Hello, can you talk to me?
It sounds something like someone's talking, but it's like kind of gargly.
Yeah. And it's definitely someone talking.
Yeah. And we just now got an EVP, and it's clearly a woman, and you can hear her say, okay.
And there's an old woman here. The furthest woman is way down in the corner of it.
Yeah, we have two other people with us. They're all the way at the other side of the cemetery.
Okay, here's her talking.
Okay, Brooke, this is your last chance. If you want to tell your story, tell your story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'll play it again.
Okay, Brooke, this is your last chance. If you want to tell your story, tell your story.
Oh my God.
Dude, that is
a woman's voice.
a woman's voice, definitely.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That is amazing.
It's just me and Paul here.
Yeah.
We're not doing any ventriloquism here. It's just, where did that voice come from? I mean, clearly. Well, there you go, folks. A little bit of history of the Hicksville Cemetery, as well as some of the haunted history as well. We got EVPs, we got stick figures. Clearly, this cemetery is haunted. It's active. As always, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be in the loop of the next Grave Time adventure. Thank you to Paul Dale Roberts and the team for coming out here and investigating the Hicksville Cemetery. Until next time, God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Bye.